Okay, friends. So, I actually have two backdrops for our art project. This is the one that I did in the first video, except I added a wash of green watercolor over the top of everything so that it would just look more put together, and I love how the crayon and the watercolor interact. It was just kind of a last minute spur of the moment decision, so it's still drying actually, but that's okay. I wanted to show you and explain why it looked a little bit different in this video. And then I found some old scrapbook paper when I was cleaning, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would make a really cool background as well. So even if you didn't want a collage, but you want, there's just so many options that you could do. So I have this one too. I'll probably work on this one a little bit as well. Now, the next thing that you're gonna need for today is another piece of cardboard. This came with something in the mail, and it's stiff enough and should probably work. Or I can use the inside of old cereal box. So if I open this up, then it is just a ton of cardboard that I could use. Or still yet another option would be to use some more pizza box. So let me grab some pizza box cardboard here. Out of the okay. So here's some more pizza box out of the recycling. I'm probably going to use this. Now my dog is getting into the recycling. Oh well. Probably going to use this and this since I have two backgrounds. I'm going to start on this piece for today. Now, hey, stop, get out of there. Now, now what you're going to need is you're also going to need a pencil. Sorry, you can hear my kids. It's just the name of the game right now. You need a pencil, you need scissors, and you will need a glue stick. For right now, let's just get those out. Right now we just need a pencil and scissors. You also need a straight edge. A straight edge meaning like a ruler. I actually don't have any rulers at my house, so I am just going to use this because it has a nice straight edge on it. Let me take this. The first thing I'm going to need to do, whoops, is draw a, if you can see, hey, look, stop, come here. Is draw a vanishing point on here, and I'm gonna draw it towards the bottom of my paper or cardboard, I should say, and I'm gonna do it nice and big. I hope you can see that. Let me see. Let's see if I have a pen here. Darken that up for you. Can you see that? Yes. Okay, so that's my vanishing point. All the shapes that I draw will be brought back to that vanishing point, and that's going to show our length and height of our shapes for this project. So I like to trace things personally, so I'm going to start with this shape, and I'm going to trace this rectangle up here. So my vanishing point is down here and my shape is up here. So I'm going to trace that with my pencil. And it doesn't have to be straight like that. Like I could curve it like this, or not curve it, but turn it. Okay. So there I have my shape. If you don't have things to trace, that's okay. You can draw them using your straight edge as well. So maybe I want to do a triangle over here. Press too hard. Triangle over here. So again, my vanishing point is down here. My shape is going to be up here. And then I'm going to stick with geometric shapes for this one. I recommend you doing that as well, since that's what we've been kind of working with. I'm going to start with those two. So I have a rectangle and a triangle. Now Like we learned in our previous video on making those rectangular prisms or square prisms, I'm gonna line up the, can you see that? Line up this corner of my rectangular prism to here, okay? Like this. And actually, I think I'm gonna switch to my pen. I recommend that you guys use the pencil, but I'm worried that it's not showing up enough. So I'm going at this upper corner here and gonna draw it all the way to my vanishing point, like that. Okay. Now this one, I'm going to draw down to my vanishing point as well. Pull down, and I like to double layer it. And so you can already see my length and height of this rectangular prism. And this last one is going to line up with my vanishing point as well. Like that. I went a little far, that's okay, because we are going to be cutting this out. Now I'm not going to, if you recall, I'm not going to draw that one because it goes behind all my other lines, and this is not a see-through rectangular prism. Now I need to do the same thing with my triangle. So I'm going to start at this point. I kind of always start from the left of the shape and work to the right, but that doesn't mean that you have to. It just keeps me organized when I am doing perspective. Get this lined up. So again, if you have a ruler, you can do this with a ruler. If you don't, just find a different straight edge that is long enough to... Again, I'm not going to do that one because you can see that would go through the back side of my triangle. Okay, so there's two shapes. I think I'll do a square. I'll do that one a little bit closer and more down here, I think. That'll be fun. Oh, I need my scissors. Okay. So I'm gonna have this edge. Oops, that looks kind of like it might end up being a rectangle. Let's see what I can do about that. This edge. This edge. And this edge. I'm not worrying about if it's perfect or not. It's just supposed to be fun, really. Okay, and then I am going to connect those and connect that. Oops, didn't go far enough. Line it back up here. There we go. So these would pass behind that rectangle, or that, well, sort of rectangular prism. So I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stop with those three for now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out like it is a whole shape. Okay, so watch. The best way I can do this is to just show you. So I'm going to cut along my outlines of my shape and along the outlines of their length and height. This is gonna be so cool and I can't wait. Okay. I have a feeling that when I use this cardboard, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to cut, but I think it's gonna be worth it. So I am gonna do it for you guys to see in a minute. Now I don't want this to come off, so I'm gonna be careful where that's attached there, because I don't want it to fall apart. So be careful when you're cutting, that making sure that your shapes stay together. I hope that makes sense. There we go. If they do fall apart, that's fine. When we glue it down, we can always make it look like it didn't fall apart, but the goal is to keep them together. If you do more shapes, it'll probably fill up this back space a little bit better, but that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it because it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be fun. That's the best thing about art and math, just fun. A little bit further, okay. Oh, bless you. Okay. Cutting. Get that one cut out. I hope I'm in frame here for you to see. If not, I apologize. Okay. Almost done. Cutting carefully. Perfect. So then I'm gonna grab this background and we're gonna grab my shapes. And I am just gonna pick a pretend vanishing point on here. So pretend I put it like that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there and I'll come back because I need some coloring things. BRB. All right, next we're gonna glue these down onto our backgrounds of choice. I'm gonna put this one on this background and this one on this background. So I need to grab my glue, flip it over, and then place it, push it down, switch. You don't have to do, oh, that looks cool. You don't have to do multiples. I was just kind of inspired by this tie-dye background and wanted to. Just something fun. So let's see, how do I think I'm gonna go like that on this one. Push it down. All right, now we're gonna add some color. Okay, so for your color, for adding color to your shapes, you're going to have a light, a dark, and then like you're gonna have 3 colors, hopefully a light, a dark, and a medium. I really only have these 2 colors, so for my dark I'm gonna go just violet, and my dark I am going to put on the, can you guys see? Yes, on the top of my shapes. Now these are like marker paint pens. If you don't have that, you can definitely use crayon. If you have pens that are opaque, meaning not see-through, those would be the best option. I don't have that at home, so I'm going with what I have on hand. So I'm just going to do a few, try and make this as dark and as opaque as possible. Goodness. I don't know if you can hear my kiddos, but they are watching Finding Dory or something like that. One of the Dory Nemo videos or movies. All right, I'm gonna do my dark color on all of them. I am sticking with one color scheme for mine, so that it doesn't get too busy. So that's my personal choice. All right, get this kind of darkened up with these marker paint pens, working pretty well. I like it. It's like a super dark purple, like my sweatshirt. And last one, I'm gonna put on the flat top of my rectangular prism. You guys know, is that called a triangular prism? Might be worth looking at. Let me know if you saw that one. All right, I think I'm might do another little bit of layering on that one just to make sure. I like how smooth that one looks. Okay, so then sorry, my phone was dying. So now you're plugged in. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I am going to do my medium color. In my medium color, I'm going to do on the leftmost parts of my shape. Now I've only got one of those, so my medium color is going to be a blue-violet blend. So I'm gonna paint on my blue. If you have multiple leftmost areas on yours, do that with your medium color, okay? Your medium color and darkness. Okay, so just gonna layer up that blue there, and that's okay if yours doesn't stay exactly in the right spot. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be fun. There we go. And then I'm gonna put a layer of purple on top, like this. And that gives me a blue violet. Oh my goodness, that one almost looks darker than my purple, but that's okay, as long as they're all the same. Okay, and this is really gonna give us the optical illusion of depth on a 2D surface. So these shapes are gonna really look 3D, even though they're just 2D. Isn't that cool? Okay. Then I'm gonna come in with my lighter color, which is my blue, and that is gonna be on the rightmost side of your shape. There might be a better way to say that, so feel free to leave me comments. You should say it like this, Mrs. Tiogonko, and that will just help me learn. Okay. You can see that I have a little bit extra here. I didn't want to accidentally cut this one off, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about it being like perfect, just get it on there, and then you can evaluate how you like it or how you might do your next one. I'm going to, this looks so cool. I'm super excited. And then my last one on this piece, oops. If you have a watercolor paint, you could probably paint your shapes. If you have tempera paint, you could do that and it'll be really opaque. I just don't have that at home, so I'm using what I have. If crayons are what you have, use crayons. Colored pencils, use colored pencils, whatever you want. And there you go. Oh my goodness, can you guys see that? It looks so cool. Let me see if I can see it on the camera. It looks so cool. Ding! And there are my shapes. These 2D shapes that are made to make our minds think that they're 3D. Isn't that cool? I love it. Here is this one that I found a paint of sorts to use on it. So I have my dark, and then my middle, and then my light. And there are my two pieces for this project. Super cool because it shows like the depth and the layering, so you've got a really cool optical illusion of sorts. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd love to see what you create, and I'll see you soon. Bye.